Did anyone miss me? I took last week off, but I'm back to recap the Women Tell All, the week in between the hometowns and finale where we catch up with all the women who've been eliminated from the Golden Bachelor. Plus, it's also that time in the season when I get to share my predictions for who will win Mel's final rose. But first, I've got to say, justice for Debbie, whose rawness about never settling down was such a breath of fresh air. I honestly thought she was going to win this whole thing, so seeing her get eliminated after hometowns was upsetting, to say the least. As the special starts, Jesse says, "You might be wondering, where's Diane?" He assures us that she's in Hawaii for her son's wedding. But I'm thinking, who's Diane? And then 5 minutes later, I remember, Diane is this absolute icon. About 50% of the episode consists of clips we've already seen, so I'll focus on fresh information. We start with Nicole. She says she didn't come into the Golden Bachelor with any strategy. She and Mel just had really palpable chemistry. She also says she was a trailblazer on the show because she was the first one to kiss Mel and then everyone followed. She was also a trailblazer in breaking the fourth wall, which isn't mentioned. Jesse wastes no time in bringing up the lemon bar situation, which you'll recall Nicole took complete credit for to look good in front of Mel. Robin explains that the baking was a collective effort, but Nicole said she spearheaded it. The ladies actually seem to agree with this assessment, despite the shady editing we saw, which seemed to depict Nicole lounging around and doing everything but baking while the other women were at work in the kitchen. Just goes to show you, you can't trust everything you see on reality TV. Nicole says she was 100% on the show to find love, which earns some more side-eye from the other ladies. She then gives a speech about empowering women in their 60s and 70s. I feel like Nicole hired a publicity consultant before the Women Tell All to try to win the public back and get picked as the next Golden Bachelorette, because this doesn't sound like the same woman who basically called the whole season 1 cast unattractive. Debbie jumps in and says this is hard for her to listen to. "You did not empower us. You dismissed us," she says. Debbie also calls her out for insulting the first season contestants. "If you want to be an influencer, you're not going to be if nobody likes you." I mean, she's not wrong. Jesse asks Robin if she thinks things would have gone differently if she hadn't narked on Nicole to Mel. She says she has no regrets, but she wishes she had spoken up earlier. Nicole ends her brief time in the hot seat by saying, "I love you all and I'll do better." Cheryl is the first person to sit down one-on-one with Jesse. Jesse says, "You were so close to bringing Mel home to your family." I'm sure she's very much aware. No need to rub it in, Jesse. Cheryl says she may have let the other women swoop in and that she should have been a bit more assertive. For the record, it's not really a hot seat. It's just barely lukewarm at best, since the women aren't being grilled by any means. Debbie says she thinks Mel saw pieces of her, but there are so many more layers to her, and she wishes she'd had more time with him. They talk about the People magazine shoot. Apparently, the other women were the ones who encouraged her to wear the beach bride outfit. And again I say, Debbie FOR Golden Bachelorette. Debbie says she's proud of herself for putting herself out there before returning to her seat among the rest of the ladies. I thought Mel was going to have to come out here and face her, but apparently not. Respectfully, ABC, what are we even doing here? I deserve answers. I mean, Debbie deserves answers. After a commercial break, Mel finally comes out and sits down with Jesse. Jesse ribs Mel for wearing his orthopedic shoes to the Women Tell All, even though he gets to sit the whole time. This turns into the compliment Mel segment. Terry, remember the Southern woman with the puppet? Says he treated them all with respect and kindness. Cheryl says, "Mel, you are an amazing man, and you taught me that there could be a fairy tale for anyone out there." She says she wishes she had been braver, and he cuts her off, telling her she is brave. "I'll never forget how strong you were raising your family." Nicole just says to Mel, "I missed you," and starts crying. She says, "I know I made some missteps, but my feelings for you were really genuine." Debbie asks Mel whether not being married or having children influenced his decision to send her home. He says he wasn't thinking it, ever. Debbie is grateful to hear that and says, "I'm just appreciative that you kick-started my heart again." Alexandra says, "I'm going to ask you in front of America. Will you, Mel, introduce me to one of your friends? It's what we're all wondering, to be honest." Then we get to see some unseen footage from the roast, and the fact that these moments got cut is another huge injustice. Carol had some real zingers. She said, "Mel, I've got some skills. I can change a diaper and I can lift you out of the tub." That's it for the Women Tell All, but we're not quite done yet. Next week are the Fantasy Suites dates, followed by a 2-hour finale on November 12th. I'll be hopping back on IG Live Thursday at 11 a.m. with Emma Gray of the We Love to See It podcast to break down this season so far, the Women Tell All, and most importantly, our predictions for who will get the final rose. Speaking of, that's the question on everyone's minds. Cindy and Peg are Mel's final two, and he'll be jetting off to Antigua for fantasy suite dates with each of them. Plus, if we follow the traditional Bachelor pattern, Cindy and Peg will also get the chance to meet Mel's family. On the one hand, Peg and Mel surprised me with their chemistry, which is definitely palpable and I feel came on suddenly a few weeks ago. On the other hand, Mel and Cindy had a strong connection right out of the gate, and there's clearly passion in their relationship too. Part of the reason I was so surprised to see Debbie get eliminated after the hometown dates was that their trip to Denver seemed to go off without a hitch, whereas Mel clashed with Cindy's family. I thought for sure that, after that tension, Cindy would get eliminated. Part of me thinks the fact that Mel didn't shy away from a bit of conflict is a big deal, and could be a big indicator that Mel really sees their relationship going the distance. As the season of The Golden Bachelor races toward its highly anticipated finale, all eyes are on Mel, the charming and compassionate contestant who has captured the hearts of both Jerry and fans alike. With the final rose ceremony fast approaching, the question on everyone's mind is, who will Mel choose? Will she stay true to her heart, or will she follow a different path entirely? Let's dive into the predictions for the dramatic finale of The Golden Bachelor. From the moment Mel entered the mansion, there was an undeniable connection between her and Jerry. Their chemistry was palpable, with their deep conversations and shared values, particularly around family and companionship. Mel's openness and vulnerability have made her a fan favorite, but with only a few contestants left, it's clear that the competition has heated up. Jerry, known for his kind-hearted nature, has formed a strong bond with Mel, but there's also the lingering question of whether he'll choose someone else who has piqued his interest throughout the season. While Mel's connection with Jerry is genuine, it seems that some unresolved tensions might challenge their relationship as the finale approaches. Will Mel choose the stability and emotional depth that Jerry offers, or will she be drawn to the excitement and passion from another contender? The unpredictability of the Golden Bachelor finale promises a heart-wrenching and emotional conclusion, with both Jerry and Mel's futures hanging in the balance. One thing is for sure, fans will be on the edge of their seats as they watch the final rose ceremony unfold. The decision may just change everything, and the journey toward love will leave viewers eagerly awaiting the final choice. Stay tuned for the explosive finale.